Welcome back to the Movie Draft House. I'm your host, Mark, joined by co-host Jeff.
Happy 4th of July, Mark. It's hot as hell out and it's raining, I'm guessing.
I had a hot dog or two.
Well, what's your record for hot dogs in a day?
Oh,
I know mine.
Are we talking bun, no bun? What are we doing?
Let's say whatever. Full hot dog, regardless of whether you've had a bun or not. I guess with a bun. Let's say
with
with
the bun,
bun.
with all the accoutrements.
Okay, so when I eat a hot dog, I usually am Frank, bun, mustard, and that's it.
Oh,
Unless it's a chili dog. Like if I have a chili dog, then it's Frank, chili, mustard, onions, cheese, bun. And that's a different thing. You're obviously going to eat fewer of those.
Right. Yes. Okay. So, all right. Bun, dog, mustard, ketchup.
Okay.
Ketchup, mustard. That's the baseline for me. I could probably do like.
So you're guessing. What have you done? Have you only stuck to 2 or 3, maybe?
I'm not a hot dog eater. I mean, like it's not a go-to for me. So, like on 4th of July is when I'll have a hot dog. So probably 3 or 4. I don't know.
Okay,
I'm not
7.
a big bread eater either. So
yeah, I once they were having something at my church, and one of the guys was cooking hot dogs, and there was this kid there. He's like a high schooler, and he's like, "I could eat more hot dogs than you." I'm like, "Motherfucker, no, you cannot." So he got to about 4. And then he came back about 20 minutes later. What are you at? I'm at 7. Oh, that's right. I don't know why I'm going to have a heart attack in 15 years. Just pounded 7 fucking hot dogs.
So future you should go back in time and
I should go back and be like, no,
past
no.
you and
Stop.
be like, hey man, 2's enough, bro. Are you all beef or you a turkey, chicken, pork dog?
Oh, I'm not
guy?
picky, but all beef is best. I mean, if I have a choice, all beef is good, but I like a cheap-ass hot dog, too. You know, the ones that come in, like, the 83 packs? I'll eat one of those.
$4 for 83 dogs.
You put that shit on a Publix bun with some yellow mustard? Fuck yeah.
You're a simple man.
I am.
Anyways, this is the Movie Draft House, and at the Draft House, we draft films around a monthly theme. And this month's theme is Historical Figures Month.
Wow.
In
That's not
celebration
how I
of the
pitched it. American history.
Oh, I'm
films.
sorry. American
Films that
history
capture
films.
American history. It's kind of general. I'm actually impressed by how much all 4 of our movies actually, I think, are going to fit the theme.
Yeah.
That do a great job of it, telling stories within these historical events and backgrounds.
Yeah. So Jeff, what did we watch this week?
Well, this week we watched, appropriately enough, Born on the 4th of July. And today is the 4th of July. Well done, Mark. Mark drafted this, and it's from 1989, which is just...
It'll never happen again.
I really doubt it will. But don't worry, I got your back. It runs for 2 hours and 25 minutes and stars Tom Cruise. It was directed by Oliver Stone, as well as written by Oliver Stone, and it's based on the book by Ron Kovic, which is a biography. So this is based on a true story. I did not know that going in.
I didn't either. Until you just said it.
Oh, okay. Well, I looked it up afterwards because there are a lot of events in the movie that were taking place at like real historical times and places. I was thinking specifically of the Republican National Convention with Nixon. And I'm like, this feels like this is actually based on something real. And
wasn't the Kent State ordeal also a thing?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, it's funny because we're
something
seeing
happen
that
at
again
Kent
right
State?
now with,
Yeah.
you know,
May
in our own
4th,
time.
1970.
So I really...
National Guard killed a bunch of students.
Now, I did not go so far as to fact check or, know what actually happened and what's been embellished, but there are some things that happen on camera, specifically that event at the RNC, that I think you could probably go and look up. And there's lots of stuff about this guy. So him going and serving in Vietnam, getting paralyzed, and then becoming a pro-peace person is very much a true story.
So, what's your history with Oliver Stone?
I don't know if I could name one movie.
Really?
I mean, Born on the 4th of July, which I didn't know. Let's see. He's done Platoon, JFK, Natural Born Killers. I've seen Natural Born Killers. Didn't love it. I've never seen Platoon. Like, I don't like military movies, so I've never seen Platoon. I've never seen this. I haven't seen JFK. He directed Snowden, which I haven't seen. So it seems like he's big into. He directed W.
He is a big historical events person.
Yeah, it looks like a political drama thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, and all of his films are long,
yeah,
right?
I've seen Any Given Sunday. That movie sucks a big one.
Really?
I don't like it personally. I've
Really?
never seen.
Huh.
I should watch Wall Street though. I need to watch it sometime.
Alexander sucked, but that's like 5 hours long.
Yeah, I don't do that. Like this next week's movie is 2.5 hours long, and that's like, oh god. No, wait, this week's movie is 2.5 hours long. Next week is not. And that's. I mean, you really need to be bringing it to have your runtime be that long. So, like, we look back at RRR.
Oh yeah,
And how that's just a slap full.
I'll watch that any day of the week.
It's packed full of goodness. And when your movie starts creeping over that 2-hour mark, I start thinking, what are we going to cut out, right?
Yeah.
What can go? And I feel like there is some pretty decent fat on this one. I don't know how long or how much time I need to spend with Tom Cruise telling people that they're wrong for being anti-war. Like, it kind of keeps going and going. There are segments I would trim. A lot of the family drama. But, that's me. I don't want to spend 2.5 hours on a movie unless it's really earning it.
So, all right. So you had never seen it. I had never seen it.
Correct.
I spilled my bag of trail mix.
Oh, it's a crime.
Man down. All right. I'm holding it up in front of the camera right now. We're not sponsored by Cars, but I'm eating Cars dark chocolate trail mix.
I love Cars because
yeah.
it's short for Carl. I don't know that that's the case, but that's the joke I make every time I eat it. Because it's from, you ever seen Yes Man?
Yeah.
Where he says Norm is his boss, Norman, and he's like, wow, your name's Carr. Short for Carl. Carl's pretty short already. Anyway, you were going to ask me a question.
Yeah. So I had never seen it. And it's so Oliver Stone, this was nominated for quite a few Oscars, by the way.
Oliver Stone won an Oscar.
Yeah. But it was nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Tom Cruise Best Actor, and Stone won for Best Director. So what are your overall thoughts on it? Like, I mean, you just said we could trim some fat, but like, is it a good movie?
Is it good? Boy, that's a loaded question.
I mean, because then, and so the reason I want to ask right off the get is Tom Cruise is a terrific actor when he is dialed
Not
in.
in this though, man.
I
don't
liked
know if
him
that's
here.
where you're going, but for me, I really kind of felt the seams. Now,
Well, I mean, some of it was over the
literal
top, but I think
seams
that's
in this that we could get into. Because the fucking wig work in this movie is horrible.
well, it's
And the
1989,
mustaches,
bro.
I don't give a shit. They figured this out a long time ago. I'm sure that we've seen movies from the 80s with better beard and wig work. Because the
Oliver
artificial
Stone
hair
does
in
like
this
some
movie
wigs.
sucks. It's real bad. Like, it's stringy, and you can tell because it doesn't flow like natural hair does. It took me out of several portions because it was bad. It's not the worst thing that happens. I think on the short end of this thing, I did not enjoy this that much.
Okay.
I thought there were good parts, but I don't like war movies, and so for me to be on board with one, it really has to. I mean,
This is a
interesting.
this is a political drama masquerading as a war movie, right?
Because there's only the first half hour is war.
Yeah, correct. And the rest of it is very much a mental health drama. And I do, it's appropriate that we watch this movie. It's because there's a lot of parallels to the current state of the United States in this film. And it's kind of eerie how much, like, what was happening in the 60s with Vietnam and protesting, and what's happening now, and not so much like, America's at war with anybody, but the current state of political affairs, and what's happening with Israel and Palestine, and the protests that are happening currently in the country, or off and on for the past few months. I just think I've seen JFK, I've seen The Doors, I've seen Platoon, I've seen Wall Street. JFK is probably his best, and it's a long fucking movie. It's like, I think 3 hours or something. But Kevin Costner's really good in it. But Oliver Stone, I think, is at his best when he's in this political-esque sphere of, right and wrong. This film is very heavy-handed. It makes no qualms with telling you that how it feels. Like, it doesn't try to, like, make you it doesn't present both sides and be like, hey, you decide.
Well, that's interesting too. Because I was watching the movie, and there's a lot of the American propaganda around the war, and how he bought into it, and then having gone overseas and paid a price, realizes now the lie of, because I think in hindsight there aren't many people left in the world who was like, Vietnam was a good idea. It's pretty much like universally is like, yeah, we fucked up.
Yeah.
And then they kept going and pushing because no president wanted to be the one to lose the first war, because the United States is undefeated, right? They haven't lost yet. America. And really good Spielberg movie to go watch is called The Post. And it's about the cover up around Vietnam and how, the multiple presidents kept, this sort of, they knew that Vietnam was not going to be won, and yet they kept pumping soldiers into it, literally killing, thousands and thousands of young men. So there's that, that part of it. The history of it's quite interesting. But again, I'm not the right audience for this. I don't like war movies because I find them depressing. There's the scene where he goes in and all those children are killed and innocent civilians, and I'm like, this is why I don't watch this. And the other thing is it makes me feel like shit, because I'm like, the reason people go to war is not necessarily of their own volition, but because of some rich guy. I mean, we get a handful of leaders are the ones that are sending people to die, and it just pisses me off. So the movie pissed me off.
No, and that's understandable. I mean, honestly, that's probably what Oliver Stone was going for.
Yeah.
Is to make the audience upset at the circumstances of why Tom Cruise's character was there, and the acts of violence and the monstrosities that were committed under the guise of, we need to play, big brother to this country or this side or the other side. And I think one thing I thought was interesting that I'm trying to recall, but that I don't remember seeing in a Vietnam movie is any type of scene on a beach.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I thought. I'm like, where are they? This felt more like Desert Storm.
Yeah. And then like I got to looking at a map, and I was like, holy shit. That's fucking weird.
The only thing I think of is like in Forrest Gump, they're in the woods, a big old
jungles
rain,
and shit.
And that's what I think of when I think of Vietnam. Or we what was that movie? Tropic Thunder. That's kind of what I
Right.
think of is that. So it was interesting to see them on the beach and probably a more accurate representation of Vietnam. I'm sure there was plenty of shooting in the jungle too, but
Right. Well, and so I the war scenes I'm fine with is because the movie's about the war, but it's not a war movie. You know, it's the 30 minutes.
it's about
Really,
the
it's probably-
aftermath.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
right.
the
It's
toll that it takes on one person.
right, and you know, I appreciated how Stone attempts to tell Tom Cruise's character's story about how he goes through this mental health crisis of, you know, being paralyzed, being a paraplegic, and
Yes. Okay.
yes, I thought about it before I said it.
Yeah, because I was thinking, wait, is he para or quadra? No, he's para.
quad is
means
4.
I knew
He's
that.
not Christopher
You were right.
Reeves.
I apologize. That's my bad.
But you know, and it tells, you know, the movie is too long. I 100% agree with you. But I enjoyed the kind of the journey he goes through of wrestling with, and one thing that I did like that Oliver Stone does is he makes the focal point of Tom Cruise's journey this crisis of Tom Cruise, where he knows he killed somebody. You know, he knows he killed a squad mate, or, you know, he knows that, and he's wrestled with it his entire adult life up to this point. And in the movie shows him in the aftermath going to his commanding officer and saying, I killed that man. And, you know, the commanding officer is just like,
No, you
don't
didn't.
tell me that shit. Don't tell me that shit right now.
I think there's a lot of reasons why, right? It's like, is it because he didn't want to do paperwork, or was he saving Tom Cruise, right?
It's probably all the above, right? I mean, you're talking how many thousands of soldiers died in Vietnam because the U.S. didn't take a minute to like do any type of reconnaissance and you know, preparation. They just decided we're gonna just dump a bunch of soldiers into this country because we just think it's a bunch of backwoods yokels. And so like that scene to me is the commanding officer going, I ain't got time for this shit. We're losing too many people. No, you didn't kill that guy. And then Tom Cruise's journey of, at the end of the movie, going to that guy's family and, you know, pouring his heart out. And, you know, a kind of a forgiveness of, not by everybody, but by the parents, or at least the mother.
Yeah.
You know, I thought that the journey to get from point A to point B, we didn't need to see some of it. We didn't need to see Tom Cruise yell penis, even though that was kind of funny.
That, man, I just texted you the word penis.
and I
you're
thought
like,
you were, because I hadn't
there's a
seen
little
it yet.
Dong at the beginning of the movie, but no,
I thought you were keeping the dong tracker.
No, and I realized that that's what you were referring to, so I was like, I'll just shut my mouth. And then don't say penis in this house, his mom says. And I'm like, I know some pretty conservative people, but I don't know anybody who's like penis is the scientific word for penis.
Most Christians don't believe in science.
Okay. Fair point. Move on. I don't have like an argument to that. You win. But the scene is ridiculous because she's like, don't say penis. And he's like, penis, which reminded me of the scene in 500 Days of Summer where they're both saying there's the penis game where each person takes turns saying the word penis just a little bit louder than the other. Which
500 Days of Summer is a fantastic
I love
romantic
it.
comedy.
Yeah,
It's a great movie.
I really love it.
Maybe next anniversary I'll pick romantic comedy month, and we'll watch that.
Yeah, even though it's Adam, Eve, and Steve, and it's dumb. And anyway, we'll just blot it out.
Whatever. So I think when he goes to Mexico, I don't really understand the whole, trip to Mexico. He's looking for, I don't even know what he was looking for, but he finds a group of paraplegics that are also
and they're
veterans.
In Mexico.
And they're in Mexico, and they're paying prostitutes to have
all right, so
sex
did this
with them?
make you? Yeah, exactly. Did this make you want to Google if paraplegics can come? Because it did for me. I'm like, what are they paying for? Because I just assume if you can't get aroused and be brought to climax,
Yeah.
why would you pay someone to be naked on top of you?
I think it's probably more the simulation of the
And
act.
I'm not going to Google it. I don't want it
Oh, I
in
thought
my
you already
search
did.
history. No, I thought I would. I was like, man, I need to know, but I need to go
I can Google it right
incognito,
now.
I
Let
guess.
me
Yeah,
see.
Google if you can come when you're paralyzed. This is important stuff that we deal with.
Legics
C-U-M, not C-O-M-E.
ejaculate.
Okay, that'll work. Yeah, use scientific terms. Penis. Put in penis.
Absolutely, Google says.
Oh, well, wait.
Depending
is it
on your
AI?
spinal cord, hold on. Depending on your spinal cord injury, how you have sex may change, but that doesn't mean sex is impossible. For men, sexual function can be aided by medications. Oh, get the fuck out of here, spinal cord injury and sex.
Yeah, I don't know, because if you have no feeling, I mean, would your body? No.
Many men are not able to ejaculate during intercourse, or they have retrograde ejaculation.
Retrograde. Does that mean you come in the past? Like if you're just sitting around now, and you're just like, oh shit, I just came for no reason.
Mercury
Does that
is in
mean
retrograde.
In the future you will be paralyzed?
Retrograde ejaculation. Where did I go? Where did it go? Damn it.
These are all, we're going down so many Wikipedia tabs.
Retrograde ejaculation is a condition that causes sperm to travel into the past. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, you don't have the definition?
No, I had to click a link because it didn't. Hold on, I gotta.
I'll put it in Wikipedia.
Okay, retrograde ejaculation is a condition that causes sperm to travel backwards into the bladder instead of through the urethra.
Don't do that. Oh, we shouldn't have Googled this. Oh no.
An SCI does not affect the amount of sperm you have, but your sperm may move slower. Artificial insemination can be used to get your partner pregnant.
Thank you. That feels like a non sequitur. Like they just, whoever wrote the article is like, there's one other thing I know. I heard about this.
You can use a turkey baster. I don't know. Anyways, I just didn't understand like the whole trip to Mexico, but like what I did enjoy was Willem Dafoe. Man, that dude kills everything.
My dude. So when I was talking about, I wasn't particularly fond of Tom Cruise's performance. I'm a Tom Cruise fan. I've said it before. I wasn't particularly fond of him, but man, like Willem Dafoe shows up and just starts acting circles around everyone. I thought he was excellent.
Yeah. No, I mean he's in the movie for a grand total of like 10 minutes, and it steals the show. But did you recognize Tom Sizemore?
No, wait. I think I recognized him, but I didn't know who it was.
He's a paraplegic with Willem Dafoe. Like he's already there with Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
I think he has like maybe one line.
I can picture him now in my head, like the scene he's in. Yeah, I'm not a huge Sizemore guy, but you know.
He's in like every Vietnam movie ever.
I just remember him being in that ambulance movie you made us watch. Bringing Out the Dead or whatever. That movie sucked.
So I mean like there was, the romance with Kira Sedgwick's character.
I didn't get this at all.
And like,
it was so weird.
But like it's I think it's important because she is she's anti-war, and like she's maybe the first person that gets through to him after he comes back.
'Cause he's horny.
Right. But I mean, right.
He's trying to get some
I mean,
retrograde.
Retrograde pussy.
Ugh. Does that just mean they're older? I don't know.
Anyway, but no, I mean, like, there's obviously, dual purpose behind him listening. I'm air quoting, but to her character. But she takes him to her school, Kent State, and that's where all these demonstrations are happening against the war. And like, I think that's probably the first time where he was like, you know what, this is making some sense. But he leaves her. Like, he leaves her there. He doesn't decide to stay with her, and like, that's the last thing we see of her. But and I just think that's the kind of the launching point behind his turn to anti-war is that character and that setting. I didn't enjoy, like, him running through the rain to the prom. I was like, okay, just go to the fucking prom, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
this forced, like, what do you call it? Romanticness. Yeah, I don't like that either.
It's just most of this movie is very heavy-handed. It doesn't lean any way towards like allowing the viewer to make their own mind. It's force-feeding you the different points, and like, sometimes that's okay. Like, I don't mind that in certain situations, but like in a movie like this, I would have very much have liked Oliver Stone to tell this guy's story and allow the viewer to make up their mind of, hey, is he, all this shit happens to him, and then he's anti-war. How would you feel? And like, put yourself, like, I would have liked Oliver Stone to present it like, hey, audience member, put yourself in this wheelchair. You just got your spinal cord blown up. How would you feel about the war?
Pretty bad, honestly.
Right, but like so that brings up another point that I kind of want to talk about is when people, like, early in the movie, Tom Berenger's character is the recruiter that comes to the high school. And, he's, just filling their head full of, grandeur. And, back then, I mean, we're talking, 20 years after World War II? So a lot of these kids, dads or uncles or whatever, right, probably were overseas and fought. And, like, so, and I had never thought about that from that perspective before. Like, I've seen endless amount of Vietnam movies, but I never stopped to think that, like, hey, this is not that far after World War II.
They do a good job of when Tom Cruise is sitting there with his dad, and he's like, Dad, you were in World War II. Right. And his dad just kind of looks like, yeah. And he didn't look like he was too excited about having been in it, right?
Right.
Like, I almost felt like there was maybe some more going on there that would have been interesting to kind of flesh out, to be like, for him to be like, yes, son, you're right. I was in World War II. That's why I know you're fucking up.
Right. And I think Raymond Barry, the actor that plays his dad, he's really good here. Like the scene where Cruise comes home for the first time and he's in his bedroom and his dad just kind of comes up and hugs him and starts crying.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie it hits enough points for me where I'm like, okay, I can see that. That's a real thing. That's a real reaction. This man is just happy his son's alive. He doesn't care that he's in a chair. I mean, and right before that, he's talking like, hey, Ron, I made all these improvements to, I widened the door frame and, I put some handles next to the toilet. And so he's telling him, hey, I accept you. Right. And he just comes up and gives him a hug and starts crying and they kind of share this moment, and then he like kind of walks out and he's like, oh, I'm just going to kind of go over here now. Like any dad would do. And, I thought
that was a great scene. I
really
like all the stuff he did. Like when he went in the bathroom, he's like, I got this installed. I got this installed.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was such an effective scene of like, because I'm thinking when he's just getting home, you know, it's overwhelming now to have someone you're going to need to help take care of. But you kind of get to the point later that he's very much capable of taking care of himself.
Yeah.
But the changes that you still have to make in your life, and Dad is just on it. And
Yeah.
I thought that was a great show of affection and love that he is not allowing his son to be a burden to him, or for him to feel like he's being a burden. So that is a great scene.
Yeah, and so like a lot of the familial drama, I mean I didn't need like the dinner scene or dinner table scene where they're all sitting at the table and like he starts just yelling and picking fights with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I didn't
Like
need
that's
that.
the whole thing. The whole love it or leave it, like over and over and over. And sure, that's a sentiment a lot of people had. And I think the movie does a good job of showing the difference between loving the United States and then loving the government, and that it's
Right.
two different things, right?
Right.
So I think they did a good job of expressing that. But I did kind of get tired of his spiel after a while. I was like, all right, I get it.
Well, and I think, you know, a lot of that is like the heavy-handedness, right? That's Oliver Stone, or maybe basing it off of what's written in the book it's based off of, but you know, it's kind of like Oliver Stone was trying to beat it over our heads that war's bad, government's bad, people are good. You know,
Can be.
Can be good, right.
People run the government, you know. So.
Well, you know, and this guy Ron, you know, when he goes to Vietnam and is traumatized, he loses it. And that, you know, I've talked with, I mean, my stepdad, my late stepdad was in Vietnam. He was in the Navy in Vietnam, and my great uncle was in Vietnam, and you know, I've talked with these people long enough to where everybody, it seemed like, was traumatized by that war, and they're very much closed off. They don't, you know, shit happened, and war sucks, and they just kind of moved on with their lives without even dealing with what had happened. And so that's why I appreciated the scene at the end where he goes to that guy's family. I didn't like I guess it was his sister, the young girl with the baby, or maybe it was his wife. I don't know. Young girl with the baby.
Oh, you mean near the end where she's like,
at the house.
Forgive you.
Right, like, but she said it very quick, like, and like there wasn't even time to process that, and she's like, "I can't ever forgive you."
Yeah,
and it's like, oh,
well, I mean, that's her emotional state.
Let's take a second.
Yeah, but I can still see happening. I mean, that's
Sure.
a realistic. You know, I mean, that's got to be a crazy. I would be interested in reading at least that portion of the book to get a better idea of how that went.
Yeah.
You know, having to sit in front of someone and say, "Hey, I accidentally killed your son," has got to be one of the tougher conversations you can have.
Yeah, and have 2/3 of that room just be like, "Yeah, shit happened." Yeah. I mean, Dad. You know, Dad was just there, and then Mom is the one that, you know, outwardly expresses her forgiveness, and I just there's a lot of this movie that I do like, and it's hard for me to. I hate that it's 2.5 hours, is because it didn't need to be,
right?
But a lot of it, like, I was like, okay, you know, I like when Tom Cruise is actually trying to act. I like that he was very committed to this role, and I don't know.
You're allowed to like it.
I do
think
like
my
it.
overall emotional response when I think back about the movie I watched is largely like, I don't think I ever want to watch that again. And it's like if someone who hates hip hop reviews a hip hop album. Their opinion on that matter is not
tainted.
going to sway me on whether or not I buy that hip hop album. I don't like war movies, and my opinion on this one shouldn't sway someone because I just don't like the genre. Unless you're like me and you don't like the genre, then this probably isn't going to change you. But if I ever come out and be like, this is a kick-ass war movie, then you know it's fucking good because I don't like them.
Are we watching another war movie like at the end of the month?
I don't remember, man.
The Mel Gibson one?
Oh, yep, that's your fault. We Were Soldiers. What was my other movie? I did 42.
42. I have your scribble list in front of me. Hidden Figures? No. Vice.
Oh, yes.
All right, so do you recommend this one?
Nah, I don't. But again, I don't like the genre. So
I'm gonna recommend it. And like that's I'm gonna recommend it because I do think it's better. Like the positives are much more positive than the negatives. For me, it is a long watch, and sometimes it feels long. But I do think that Tom Cruise is energetic enough in it, playing this character that, and he's on screen pretty like 95% of the time.
He's always on screen.
Yeah, I mean he owns this movie. And
I don't think are there any scenes without him.
I mean, the
don't
first
think so.
5 where it's a flashback to his childhood, but
the character is in that scene, I guess. But
sure. But no, and I can see why he was nominated here. I mean, it's a very good meaty role. And as young as he was, I don't actually know how young he was when he made this, but 89, that was what, 30 some odd years ago. He's 60, so he was in his 20s.
Born in 62, came out in 89.
Yeah,
so
he's 27. Yeah. He's a young-looking 27 here.
Well, of course, it's Tom Cruise, who is 60-something now, and he looks like he's 40.
I'm glad we watched it because I always knew it existed. I knew people have raved about it. It's one of Oliver Stone's best, blah, blah, blah. I'd always been like, I don't know. I don't want to watch it.
Well, it's old. Like, and here's the thing. This is a movie from 1982 that I did not like, but Mark did. I don't know what that tells you, but I don't think we should let it slide without at least acknowledging that it happened.
I mean, it'll happen. I won't let it happen again.
Yeah.
But it'll happen. Anyways, what are we watching next? What are we watching next week?
Well, next week we're going to watch a pick from me from 2013. It's kind of in neither of our wheelhouses. You like shit from 2024 and that's it. And I like shit in black and white. If I'm going to be extreme on both cases. We're going to watch 42 from 2013 starring Chadwick Boseman, directed by Brian Helgeland. I believe this was also nominated for some stuff, although it doesn't look like any Academy Awards, which I haven't watched it yet, but that seems weird. Anyway,
I don't know if it's weird, but the guy that made it also made A Knight's Tale, so should be good.
That's a good ass movie, though.
Right? I think so.
I like it. He made Legend. He did, which is looking.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I knew his name sounded familiar. Anyways, if you want to follow the podcast on all your favorite social media platforms, you can follow us on at Movie Draft House. We're on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, right here on YouTube. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button when it pops up. And if you want to follow Jeff on Twitter and tell him, hey Jeff, it's okay to like a movie where a bunch of babies get shot up, hit him up at Podcast by Jeff.
Wow. Actually, don't hit me up, because if that's like your stance in life, that you feel that you need to reach out and tell me that you like seeing babies shot up in movies,
I mean, you could.
I
I
don't
mean, that's
wanna
a good
be
way to
around
weed
you
them
anymore.
out, though. I mean,
I guess, yeah, go ahead. I'll block you. It's fine. But if you would get in touch with Mark and tell him all the different languages you know the word penis in, you can find him on Twitter at I Heard You Like
let's see.
Penis. I only know one.
Penis.
To the
in
Google.
Different
Penis.
languages.
Bang.
What the fuck is our podcast?
Dick in different languages. Here we go.
In Albanian.
Car.
Oh.
The nuts we eat. Dick in Albania means car.
I mean,
Those are dick
dicks.
nuts. Bro, what did we just discover?
Hold on, I gotta bring the bag back.
Dick's nuts. Car nuts.
Dick's nuts. Zakara. I don't know how
what
to
that
say
means,
it.
but I'm already, my mind is blown with dick nuts.
Pik,
Ooh. In Dutch, it's dick.
dik,
Oh.
Dick.
Why? Pick in
Muna.
Danish. That's pretty good.
In French,
ku,
ku.
Latvian is penis. Got
Oh,
it.
how do we say it in Vietnamese?
So dick is actually just Dutch for penis. That's amazing.
In Sweden, they call it kuk.
kuk,
I'm
Oh,
actually.
kook.
Wait a minute. Is dick? I this has blown my mind a little bit.
Maybe we should. Oh no, it's still penis. Slang
Is it
words for penis in other languages.
Oh, is it slang words?
No, I know.
I
I
don't
don't.
know
I don't.
that.
I don't think that's what we were reading, but I don't know.
Saying penis.
My
and
search history
other-
is shit now. So
Uh-huh.
I don't.
How
I don't
do
know.
I say paralyzed man comes from the penis in different languages?
Or retrograde.
See, it just says cock in different languages. I don't want that.
I don't know.
Penis.
I don't know. Most common
Penis
slang.
in different languages. Here we go. Penis, 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 penis. Okay, that's no fun. Irish is bod.
Science
I thought-
often isn't fun.
Man, I had hopes that dick was just Danish for penis. And that's where we got it from, but I guess not. That's disappointing.
As most dicks commonly are.
Let's go out on that.